I am Shaun McLaughlin, and I am a story executive with the ISA. Favorite movie? I don't have a favorite. I don't have one movie that I hold up above all others, but I have some that if they're on TV, I will stop and watch the movie every time they're on. And it's The Adventures of Baron Munchausen is one. Uh, Grand Budapest Hotel is another, and probably Strangers on a Train would be a third. I'm a Hitchcock fan because the first film class I ever took in undergraduate school was a Hitchcock class, and it taught me more about film than I learned in any other class or any other program, actually. I really like Alfred Hitchcock. I really like Michael Curtis from the 40s. Currently, I really find Wes Anderson stuff interesting. Might not always like it, but I think it's interesting. The Coen brothers also, and the Farrelly brothers as well. A lot of brothers I like. I think the Russo brothers are capable of some really interesting stuff, but I don't know that they're going to get away from blockbusters enough to really sort of explore that. But I like their blockbusters too. People think this is a joke, but it's not. It's a true story. I remember being 8 years old and sitting on the TV, in the floor in front of the TV, watching an old Tarzan movie, and making the connection that I could never be Tarzan because my parents had sadly survived and hadn't willed me to a tribe of undiscovered great apes. But somebody had to make Tarzan movies, and that thought struck me really clearly, and I told my mom about it, and she said, "Oh, nobody really does that." But that was the moment when I thought I was really, it really put me on the path of what I wanted to do. I've written since I was 10 years old. I don't know that I was originally aiming at screenwriting, but that eventually became where I wanted to go. I started off and I was trained as an actor, and then I lost my hair, and I'm old enough that that meant I was going to be playing prosecuting attorneys for the rest of my life, and I didn't really want to do that. And so I started looking for other directions to move into. I wasn't interested in directing at that time, so I started writing. And writing led me to work in comic books, and comic books led me to work in animation, and animation led me to a nice career in television. When we were doing Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, we were looking for someone to play an adult middle-aged Tim Drake, who was the second Robin. I believe he was the second one. And we were looking at we were looking for people who had been a child star and had survived into adults. And we lost the first person that we wanted to. So at a meeting, it hit me, and I suggested Dean Stockwell from Quantum Leap, and also had a long career as a child actor at MGM. So he came in, and he was really great to work with. But when the recording came in, because you get the recording before you do even the storyboards on a television show, or in this case, a direct-to-video movie, no one was really happy with the performance. And I was sort of being made fun of for having suggested him. And then when you hooked the performance up with the film, it worked brilliantly, and he was terrific. And at a meeting, I said, "Hey guys, he's been in the business since he was 5 years old. Maybe he knows something about acting we don't." The other one I like to tell is that I was at an event for an art event representing the studio, and Pierce Brosnan and his wife was there, and I was still smoking at the time, and my wife went to the ladies' room, and I felt a tap on my shoulder, and Pierce Brosnan asked me if he could bum a cigarette from me because his wife didn't want him smoking. And I said, "Well, my wife doesn't want me smoking either." And he goes, "Well, there's a hedge over there we can go and smoke behind, and now our wives will see us smoke." So I shared a cigarette with Pierce Brosnan, both of us hiding from our wives. Well, I left television some time ago and moved into teaching, and I wasn't really happy there. And I wound up starting to read scripts and give notes on them for a competitor, and that led me to sign up as a reader for the ISA. And Jeffrey, who is the submissions manager and story executive and runs the readers, was impressed with my work, and he started pushing for me to become a part of the ISA. And once I was in, I sort of found a place for myself, which is sort of overseeing the gigs in terms of going through the submissions. And I also work directly with writers if I think their script is interesting and has possibilities, but it's not there. I reach out to the writer and work on 2 drafts with them to get it in shape. And that sort of, like, to me, puts my two careers together in one nice package, because I've been a producer and a writer for movies and television, and I've been a teacher, so I know both what can make a script work. So I have, or at least I have opinions that have some backing in that. Nobody really knows what makes things work, but I also know how to teach people. So I like those two roles, and I'm really happy doing that here. What I like most about the ISA is, having been in the industry for quite some time and been a professional writer for a little bit longer, um, it's the only organization I know of that is really committed to the writers as their bottom line, as opposed to making a profit off the writer. Managers can be great, agents can be great, but at the end of the day, they're there to sell projects. And the ISA exists specifically to help writers, and to hope that by doing that, it will shine back on the ISA. A lot. There are a lot. There are a couple of projects like Exilium um, that have moved on to shopping agreements from the gigs. Um, Mostly what I really like is that all the writers I've worked with, even if their scripts have not moved on to a shopping agreement, have expressed gratitude, and they're very happy to have worked with me, and that makes me feel really good. Like I tell all the writers I work with, nobody has all the answers. My favorite quote when I was a teacher was, "If you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him," because nobody has all the answers, and if somebody thinks they do, they're just trying to get money out of you. So to me, it's very rewarding to have people understand that there are some times when you just do the work because the work itself has value, and writing and dealing with people and trying to make their dreams come true certainly has value. I think the best advice is to listen to your instincts. Listen to people who have experience. Don't listen too much to your friends in your writing group. Take their opinion with a grain of salt. If you really want to get better, you have to really work with people who have been the place you want to go. But no one has all the answers. That really is the strongest advice I ever have. Nobody has all the answers, and if they do act like they have all the answers, they're trying to get something from you. Everyone should write. It doesn't mean that you're going to be really good at it. It doesn't mean you're going to be brilliant. It doesn't mean you're going to make $1 million. But I think everyone can learn something about themselves and about what's inside of them by writing. So I think it's an important exercise just as a human being, as a literate person.